This girl just told reception she's a Richardson. Can you believe it? The audacity! Richard Whitmore III's voice booms across the country club entrance, gold Rolex flashing as he gestures wildly. Next you'll say you own the place, right, sweetheart? Maybe claim your daddy's the president, too. The crowd laughs. Phones rise to record. A black teenage girl stands at the gate. Simple blouse, worn jeans, leather portfolio clutched tight. Sir, I am Jasmine Richardson. I have documentation. I'm expected at the 2 o'clock board meeting. Her voice stays soft, respectful, almost apologetic. Documentation? Richard snatches her folder, waves it at the crowd. Fake papers, probably printed at the library. He makes a crazy gesture around his head. The crowd roars. Someone call the cops. We've got a con artist, a really bad one. Jasmine's hands tremble slightly, but she doesn't move. Have you ever told the truth but nobody believed you because of how you looked? What happened next destroyed everything he had. 72 hours earlier. Jasmine Richardson's alarm buzzes at 5:30 in the morning. The small apartment is quiet. Walls thin enough to hear neighbors starting their day. She sits up in bed. Her room is tiny but immaculate. Textbooks stacked neatly on a wooden desk. Debate team trophies on a single shelf. A framed photo of her parents sits beside her lamp. In the kitchen, her grandmother Evelyn stands at the stove. 70 years old, silver hair pulled back, humming an old gospel hymn while scrambling eggs. Morning, baby girl. Morning, Grandma. The smell of coffee fills the small space. Toast pops up. Jasmine pours orange juice into mismatched glasses. You got that chemistry test today? Already studied. I'm ready. Evelyn smiles, pride in her eyes. This girl carries straight A's at Riverside Academy, full academic scholarship. The only black student in half her classes. Jasmine catches the 6:15 bus, 2 transfers to get across town. She watches luxury SUVs pass by. Kids her age in the back seats, AirPods in, staring at phones. At school, she walks through iron gates. Riverside Academy sprawls across manicured lawns, buildings that look like old European estates. Everything is pristine. Everything is expensive. In the parking lot, her classmates arrive in BMWs and Teslas. Jasmine keeps her head down, walks to her locker. Hey, Jasmine, still taking the bus? Madison Carter. Friendly enough. But the question always carries something underneath. Yeah, saves the environment. Madison laughs. Doesn't push it. Most don't. They know Jasmine's on scholarship. They know she works weekends at a coffee shop. They just don't know why. The truth sits locked away, has been for 5 years. Her grandfather, James Richardson, was a giant, not in height, in presence, in vision. A black entrepreneur who built a real estate empire when doors stayed shut to men who looked like him. In 1968, he became a founding member of Whitmore Country Club, put down serious money, 35% ownership. He wanted to create something different, a place where success mattered more than skin color. He died when Jasmine was 7. She barely remembers him, just fragments. His deep laugh, the way he smelled like cigars and peppermint, how he'd lift her onto his shoulders and call her my little warrior. Then 5 years ago, everything shattered. Car accident, black ice on the highway. Her parents died instantly, James Richardson II and Linda Richardson. Gone in a moment. Jasmine was 12. The lawyers came, the trustees, the financial advisors. Everything got complicated fast. Evelyn made a choice, a deliberate one. We're going to live quietly, she told Jasmine. Let them see your heart before they see your bank account. So they moved to a modest apartment. Jasmine enrolled at Riverside on merit, not money. She took buses, worked part-time, lived like any other kid struggling to get by. The trust sat untouched, waiting, growing. On her 18th birthday, 3 weeks away, Jasmine would take control, millions in assets, real estate holdings, and that 35% stake in the club. Nobody at school knows. Nobody in the neighborhood knows. Even Jasmine barely thinks about it most days. Until the letter arrives. Thursday afternoon. Jasmine gets home from her coffee shop shift. Evelyn sits at the kitchen table. An official envelope opened in front of her. Her hands shake slightly. "Baby, you need to read this." The letterhead reads, Martin and Associates Legal Group. The language is formal, corporate, but the message is clear. Emergency board meeting, Saturday at 2 p.m., regarding restructuring proposals. Presence of Richardson family representative required. Jasmine reads it twice. What does restructuring mean? Evelyn's jaw tightens. She pulls out another document. This one's been marked up, highlighted, notes in the margins. It means they want to change the club to an LLC. Dilute our ownership from 35% down to 10%. Can they do that? Not legally. Your grandfather's original charter protects us. But if no Richardson shows up to object... Evelyn trails off. The implication hangs heavy. Jasmine's phone buzzes. A text from Lawrence Carter, the family attorney, her grandfather's friend for 40 years. "I can bring a full legal team. We'll shut this down immediately." Jasmine stares at the message, then to her grandmother. "What if I go alone?" Evelyn looks up sharply. "Alone?" "I want them to see me first, just me. Before the lawyers, before the money, before everything. Baby, these people..." "I know, Grandma. But isn't that what Grandpa would have wanted? For them to see who I am?" Evelyn's eyes fill with tears. She reaches across the table, takes Jasmine's hand. "You're just like him. Stubborn and brave, and maybe a little foolish." She squeezes tight. "But yes, that's exactly what he would have wanted." Saturday, 1:50 p.m. Jasmine steps off the bus 3 blocks from the club. The neighborhood shifts instantly. Sidewalks wider, trees older, houses set back behind stone walls and iron gates. She smooths her blouse. Check her portfolio. Birth certificate, death certificates, stock certificates, trust documents, family photos going back decades, everything she needs, everything they won't believe. Her phone buzzes. Lawrence Carter again. "I'm 10 minutes out. Wait for me." She types back quickly. "I need to do this my way first." She silences the phone. Keep walking. The club rises ahead. White columns, brick facade, flowering gardens, luxury cars line the circular drive. Valets in crisp uniforms move like dancers. Everything was choreographed. Everything is perfect. Jasmine reaches the entrance. A uniformed guard stands by the door. He looks her up and down. His expression shifts. "Can I help you?" "I'm here for the 2 o'clock board meeting." He glances at his clipboard. Frowns. "Name?" "Jasmine Richardson." He scans the list. Looks confused. "I don't see..." "I'm representing the Richardson Family Trust." His eyebrows rise. He opens his mouth to respond. That's when Richard Whitmore emerges from the restaurant entrance. 52 years old. Tanned skin. Perfect teeth. Polo shirt that costs more than Jasmine's entire outfit. He's laughing with 2 other men, all of them holding cocktail glasses. The scent of expensive cologne drifts over. Richard stops mid-sentence, stares at Jasmine. His face goes through several expressions: confusion, irritation, then something uglier. "What's this?" The guard turns, relief in his voice. "Mr. Whitmore, this young lady says she's here for the board meeting, claims she represents the Richardson family." The words hang in the air for 1 beat. Then Richard explodes into laughter. "What?" He turns to his companions, to the gathering crowd. His voice projects like a stage actor. Did you hear that? She says she's a Richardson. Patricia Whitmore appears, Richard's wife, blonde, yoga-toned, sunglasses perched on her head. She looks Jasmine up and down slowly. A Richardson? Honey, that family died out years ago. I'm James Richardson's granddaughter, Jasmine says. Her voice is steady, professional. My father was James Richardson II. Both my parents passed away in 2020. I'm the sole heir. Richard's grin widens. He sets his drink down on a nearby table. Make a show of it. This is incredible. Not only is she trespassing, she's got her story all worked out. More people gather. Club members in tennis whites, golf shirts, designer sunglasses. Phones come out. Start recording. Chad Morrison pushes through the crowd. 35, Richard's business partner, vice president of the club board. Wait, you're saying you're related to the Richardsons? The founding family that owned a third of this place? 35%, Jasmine corrects. And yes, I have documentation. She opens her portfolio, starts to pull out papers. Richard moves fast, snatches the folder from her hands. Documentation, of course. Let me guess. Printed these at Kinko's this morning. He holds the papers high, waves them at the crowd like a trophy. Look at this, everybody. Birth certificate. Very official looking. Probably got the template off Google. Patricia leans in. Examine the documents. Her voice drips with fake sympathy. Sweetie, did you really think this would work? You do know people can check these things, right? Jasmine's jaw tightens. She keeps her voice level. Those are real. Certified copies from the county clerk. If you call your family attorney, Lawrence Carter, he'll confirm, Lawrence Carter! Richard nearly doubles over laughing. Now she knows Larry's name. Oh, this is rich. You really did your homework, didn't you? He turns to Chad, to Patricia, to everyone watching. She thinks claiming she knows our attorney makes her believable, like we wouldn't see through that. Chad shakes his head, almost looks impressed. I gotta admit, most scammers don't aim this high. Usually they pretend to be like a distant cousin or something. But going straight for sole heir? That's bold. The crowd murmurs. Some laugh, some look uncomfortable. But nobody steps forward to help. Jasmine tries again. Her voice cracks slightly, just for a moment. I'm not lying. My grandfather founded this club with your father's, 1968. He believed in creating a place where everyone could freeload off actual members? Patricia cuts in. Is that what you're saying? Richard's face hardens. The amusement drains away. Something meaner takes its place. You know what this is? This is what happens when kids grow up without proper parenting. No father figure to teach respect. No accountability. Jasmine's hands ball into fists. Her voice stays quiet. My parents died 5 years ago. Car accident. Oh, how convenient, Patricia exclaims. Dead parents. No way to verify. Classic con artist move. Richard steps closer, invading Jasmine's space. Let me explain something to you. The Richardson family was wealthy, real wealth. They didn't ride buses, they didn't wear Target clearance, and they sure as hell didn't need to scam their way into places they actually owned. He jabs a finger at her chest, not quite touching, but close enough to intimidate. You are a poor kid who found some information online and thought you could play dress-up. That's called fraud. That's called identity theft. And it's a felony. Jasmine's breath comes faster, but she stands her ground. If you would just let me into the meeting, if you would just listen. Listen? Richard's voice rises. To a liar? To a thief? He turns to the security guard. Mike, call the police, now, and get her bag as evidence before she tries to run. Mike Torres hesitates. He's worked here for 15 years. Seen a lot. Something about this doesn't sit right. Mr. Whitmore, maybe we should verify. Are you questioning me, Mike? Because I'm on the board. I sign your checks. So when I tell you to call the police, you call the damn police. Mike pulls out his radio. His voice is apologetic. Dispatch, need police response at main entrance. Possible trespassing and fraud. Jasmine's heart pounds. She reaches for her phone. I'm calling my attorney. Richard laughs again, cold this time. Your attorney? Right. Go ahead. Call your imaginary lawyer. Call Santa Claus while you're at it. Patricia films on her phone. I'm posting this to the neighborhood watch. Attempted scam at Whitmore Club. People need to know these schemes are happening. The clock above the entrance shows 1:58. 2 minutes until the meeting starts. Inside that boardroom, they're about to vote on destroying her family's legacy, stealing what her grandfather built. And she's stuck out here being treated like a criminal. Jasmine tries one more time, desperation creeping into her voice. Please, just let me speak to Victoria Ashford. She knew my grandfather. She'll recognize... Victoria isn't here for people like you, Richard snaps. She's here for members, for owners, for people who belong. Chad crosses his arms, smirks. You know what? If you admit you made this up right now, maybe the cops will go easy. Probably just charge you as a juvenile. Get some community service instead of jail time. I'm not lying. Jasmine's voice cracks. Tears threaten. She blinks them back hard. I am Jasmine Richardson. My grandfather was James Richardson. I have every right to be here. I own part of this club. The crowd goes silent. Then someone in the back giggles. It spreads. Soon half of them are laughing. Richard shakes his head slowly, theatrical pity on his face. Sweetheart, you don't own anything. You're nobody. You're nothing. And you need to leave before this gets worse for you. 2 police cruisers pull up, lights flashing. No sirens, but the lights alone draw more attention. 2 officers step out. Brad Kelly, 35, crew cut, moves like a former military. Sarah Carter, 28, cautious eyes, hand resting near her belt. Richard strides over immediately. Officers, thank God. We have a situation. This girl forced her way onto private property. She's impersonating a deceased family. Fraud, identity theft. We want her arrested. Kelly looks at Jasmine. His expression was already decided. That's true, miss? You're claiming to be someone you're not? Jasmine's voice shakes. No, I'm telling the truth. I am Jasmine Richardson. I have documentation. Documentation that's fake, Richard interrupts. I looked at it. Obvious forgeries. Sarah steps forward, gentler. Miss, what's your real name? Jasmine Richardson. That is my real name. Kelly's jaw sets. Okay. Gonna need you to hand over any ID and come with us. We can sort this out at the station. I have a student ID from Riverside Academy. I have certified documents. I have... Riverside? Patricia's eyes light up. The expensive private school? How does a girl like you afford that? Academic scholarship. Oh, sure. Smart enough for a full ride but dumb enough to commit fraud? Which is it? The clock strikes 2. Inside the boardroom, the meeting has started without her. Everything her grandfather built. Her parents died leaving her, about to be stolen. And she can't do anything but watch. Officer Kelly steps closer. His boots scrape against the stone driveway. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Jasmine's eyes go wide. What? Why? You're being detained for investigation. Need to secure you while we figure this out. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm telling the truth. Her voice rises, desperation bleeding through. Sarah holds up a hand. Miss, please calm down. Getting emotional won't help. I'm not being emotional. I'm being falsely accused. Kelly moves behind her, reaches for her wrists. That's for a court to decide. Right now, you need to comply. Jasmine jerks away. Not running, just instinct. Kelly's hand clamps on her shoulder. Don't resist. I'm not resisting. I'm exercising my Fourth Amendment right to refuse unlawful search and seizure. Richard laughs loudly. Listen to her, quoting the Constitution. Probably learned that from TV. Patricia films closer. Her voice sing-song. This is going viral. Delusional teen thinks she owns a country club. I'll get thousands of shares. Chad shakes his head mockingly. You know what's sad? She probably believes her own lies by now. That's how delusional people work. Kelly forces Jasmine's hands behind her back. Metal clicks. Handcuffs bite into her wrists. Cold, tight, humiliating. You have the right to remain silent. The Miranda rights blur together. Jasmine's heartbeat drowns out the words. The crowd presses closer, phones everywhere, recording every second of her shame. Sarah picks up the leather portfolio from the ground where it fell. This the bag? That's evidence, Richard says quickly. Forged documents inside. Fake IDs, probably. Sarah unzips it. Pulls out papers one by one. Birth certificate, yellow with age, official seal raised and textured, death certificates, 2 of them. James Richardson II and Linda Richardson. Date of death, March 2020. Stock certificates, heavy paper. Ornate borders. Richardson Family Trust. 35% ownership, Whitmore Country Club. Photographs, black and white. Color, spanning decades. Sarah's expression shifts, uncertainty creeping in. Brad, these look pretty official. Anyone can fake documents these days, Richard jumps in. Photoshop, laser printers, I could make those in an hour. Kelly barely glances at them. We'll have a forensics check, but yeah, good fakes are easy now. Jasmine strains against the cuffs. They're not fake. Call the county clerk. Call the state business registry. Call Lawrence Carter at... Enough, Kelly snaps. You're making this worse. He guides her roughly toward the police car. His grip was too tight on her arm. Inside the club, the emergency meeting proceeds. The boardroom sits on the second floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the golf course. Mahogany table, leather chairs, oil paintings of founding members on the walls, including one of James Richardson, silver-haired, dignified, wearing a slight smile. Victoria Ashford sits at the head of the table. 63 years old, pearls at her throat, reading glasses perched on her nose. She runs a tight meeting, always has. 11 board members present. One seat was conspicuously empty. A small nameplate reads Richardson. Dust covers it. 5 years of dust. Thomas Drake clears his throat. He's Richard's closest ally. Real estate developer, slicked back hair, expensive suit even on a Saturday. Madam Chair, I move and we proceed with the vote. The Richardson seat has been vacant for half a decade. We've given ample notice. Notice to whom? Victoria interrupts. Her voice was sharp. There is a Richardson heir. She's a minor, but she exists. The trust documents are clear. A teenager who's never attended a single meeting, Drake counters, never responded to correspondence. For all intents and purposes, that seat is abandoned. Another board member, Helen Cartwright, old money, older opinions, nods. Thomas is right. We can't let a ghost seat hold up club business indefinitely. Victoria's jaw tightens. The charter your fathers and my father signed gives the Richardson family permanent representation. Permanent means permanent. Not until we feel like changing it. Then where is she? Drake's voice rises. If this mysterious heir cares so much, where is she? Victoria checks her watch. 2:07. Her lips press into a thin line. I don't know. But we wait. 30 minutes. That's parliamentary courtesy. Drake leans back, exchanges a glance with Helen. Fine, 30 minutes. But then we vote. Outside, Jasmine sits in the back of the police cruiser, hands still cuffed. The vinyl seat sticks to her legs. The car smells like industrial cleaner and sweat. Through the window, she watches the crowd. Still gathered, still watching, still filming. Richard holds court like a king, gesturing broadly, retelling the story to newcomers. Bold as brass. Walks up and claims she's the Richardson heiress. Can you imagine? More laughter. More head shakes. An elderly man pushes through the crowd. Harold Whitfield, 84 years old, one of the original founding members. He moves slowly, cane tapping the pavement. He stops near Richard, squints at the police car. What's all this commotion? Richard turns, smiles broadly, respectful but condescending. Harold, nothing to worry about. Just some con artist trying to scam us. Police have it handled. Harold's bushy white eyebrows draw together. Con artist? Said she was James Richardson's granddaughter. Can you believe it? Harold goes very still. What did you say? She claimed to be Richardson, obviously lying. James's whole line died out. No. Harold's voice cuts like a knife despite its quaver. No, that's not true. Richard's smile falters. What? James had a son, James Jr. He married a lovely woman, Linda. They had a daughter, just before James Sr. passed. The crowd quiets. Patricia lowers her phone slightly. Harold, that was years ago, she says carefully. Even if they existed, they're probably all... James Jr. and Linda died in a car accident. 2020. I sent flowers. Harold's eyes fix on Richard. But they had a child, a little girl. I remember James Sr. showing me photos. He was so proud. Richard's face drains of color, just a shade, barely noticeable. Well, even so, that doesn't mean this girl. What's her name? Harold demands. Richard stammers. She said Jasmine. Harold closes his eyes. His hand trembles on his cane. Dear God, that's what James named her, after his wife's favorite flower. The crowd shifts, uncomfortable now. Phones lower. Some people step back. Chad tries to salvage it. Harold, with all respect, lots of people are named Jasmine. That doesn't prove... What does she look like? Richard hesitates. Trapped. She's... young. Black girl. Short hair. James had a birthmark, Harold says slowly. His voice was distant, remembering. Behind his left ear, small but distinctive. He said his son had it, said his granddaughter had it too. A family mark. Patricia's face goes pale. Richard forces a laugh, hollow now. Harold, you can't possibly expect us to check behind every... Where is she? The police. Where is she? The old man's voice cracks like thunder. Suddenly, he doesn't sound frail at all. Richard points weakly toward the cruiser. Harold moves faster than anyone expected. His cane taps urgently. He reaches the car, peers through the window. Jasmine looks up. Tears streak her face, but her eyes are defiant, unbroken. Harold's breath catches, the bone structure, the set of her jaw, the way she holds her head high despite the humiliation. She looks exactly like James. Sarah stands nearby. Harold turns to her. Officer, I need you to check something. Behind her left ear. Please. Sarah glances at Kelly. He shrugs. She opens the car door, speaks gently. Miss, I need to look at your neck. Behind your left ear, okay? Jasmine turns her head. Sarah brushes the short hair aside. There. Just behind the ear. A small birthmark. Reddish-brown, shaped like a crescent moon. Sarah's eyes widen. Brad, there's a birthmark. Exactly where he said. Kelly walks over, looks. His expression shifts from certainty to doubt. Harold's voice shakes. Jasmine, is that truly your name? Yes, sir. Your grandfather... James Richardson Sr. What did he call you when you were small? Jasmine's voice breaks. His little warrior. He said I'd fight for what's right even when it was hard. Harold's eyes fill with tears. Dear God in heaven, it's really you. The courtyard goes absolutely silent. Richard stands frozen. His tan seems to fade in real time. Patricia backs away slowly, distancing herself. Chad looks like he might vomit. Inside the boardroom, Victoria's phone buzzes. A text from her husband. Turn on the security camera feed, front entrance. Now. She pulls up the club's camera system on her laptop. The screen shows the scene outside. The police car, the crowd, Harold speaking to the officers. And then the camera angle shifts, zooms, focuses on the girl in the back seat. Victoria's hand flies to her mouth. Oh my God! The other board members crane to see. Is that? It can't be. She looks just like... Victoria stands so fast her chair tips backward. The meeting was adjourned. Now! She's running before anyone can object, her heels clicking down the marble hallway, out the front doors, down the steps. Harold still stands by the police car. He turns as Victoria approaches. Their eyes meet. After 40 years of friendship, no words are needed. It's her, he whispers. James's granddaughter. And we... He can't finish. Can't say what they almost did. Victoria's hands shake as she reaches for the car door. Sarah steps aside. Respect the moment. Victoria looks at Jasmine. Really looks. Past the simple clothes, past the tear-stained face, past everything that Richard saw and dismissed. She sees James Richardson, her father's best friend, the man who changed this club, who fought for inclusion when everyone else wanted to keep the old ways, and she sees herself, 30 years ago, young, trying to prove she deserved her father's legacy. Jasmine, her voice barely above a whisper. Oh, sweetheart, I am so terribly sorry. Jasmine's composure finally cracks. Sobs break through. They wouldn't listen. I told them the truth. But nobody believed me. Victoria rounds on the officers. Get those handcuffs off her. Right now. Sarah fumbles with her keys. The handcuffs click open. Jasmine pulls her wrists forward. Red marks circle both. Victoria helps her from the car, steadies her with gentle hands. I'm so sorry. God, I'm so sorry. The crowd stands silent. Phone recording, but nobody is laughing now. Richard hasn't moved. His face cycles through denial, panic, desperate calculation. Then tires screech. A black Mercedes S-Class rockets into the drive, brakes hard. The door flies open. Lawrence Carter emerges. 52, three-piece suit, leather briefcase, 2 associates behind him. His eyes scan everything. Police, crowd, Jasmine's red wrists, Victoria crying. His face goes cold. Who handcuffed my client? Not loud, but commanding. Courtroom presence in every syllable. Kelly steps forward, uncertain now. Sir, we responded to a call. About what? A young woman attending a meeting at a club her family owns? He turns to Jasmine. Are you hurt? No. Did they read your rights? Yes. Did you consent to searches? No, I refused. They did it anyway. Chen's jaw tightens. He faces Kelly. Unlawful detention. Unlawful search. Fourth Amendment violation. I'll have your badge by Monday. Sarah speaks up, voice small. Sir, we were told she was impersonating... Told by whom? Every head turns toward Richard. He tries to speak. His mouth opens, closes. Nothing comes out. Chen walks toward him. Each step is deliberate. Stops 3 feet away. You called the police on Jasmine Richardson, granddaughter of James Richardson Sr., sole trustee of the Richardson Family Trust, which owns 35% of this club. Pause. Let it sink in. Did you verify her identity first? Richard's voice strangles out. She didn't look like... Finish that sentence. I'm very curious what she didn't look like. The implication hangs heavy. Richard's mouth snaps shut. Chen opens his briefcase, pulls out a thick folder. Birth certificate. Certified. Jasmine Marie Richardson, born April 7th, 2007. He holds it up. Official seal catching light. Death certificates. Both parents. March 2020. Vehicle accident. 2 more documents. Raised seals. Notary stamps. Trust documents. Sole beneficiary, Jasmine Marie Richardson. His associate hands him another folder. Stock certificates. 35% ownership. Never sold. Never transferred. He spreads them across a car hood. Dozens of documents. All official. All real. And correspondence from this establishment. Sent 2 weeks ago. Requesting Richardson presence at emergency meeting. He looks at Richard, at Patricia, at Chad. You knew she might attend. You sent the letter. When she arrived, you treated her like a criminal. Patricia suddenly studies her phone. Won't meet anyone's eyes. Chad backs toward his car. I tried to tell Richard to verify. Liar! Richard explodes. You were laughing. He stops, realizes his mistake. Chen's eyebrow raises. So you admit you mocked her, while she told the truth. Harold steps forward, plants his cane. I warned him, said to stop. He ignored me. Victoria wipes her eyes, voice steel underneath. Richard, you're suspended, effective immediately. You can't. I absolutely can, as chair. Harold seconds as founding member. Motion carries. She turns to the crowd. Everyone leave. Now. People scatter. Cars start. The courtyard empties fast. Patricia grabs Richard's arm. We're leaving. Don't say another word. But Richard can't stop. How was I supposed to know? She shows up looking like... Like what, Richard? Chen's voice drops to a whisper, more threatening than yelling. Say it. What did she look like? Richard's mouth works. No sound. That's what I thought. Chen turns to Jasmine, expression softening. Ready for your meeting? Jasmine straightens, wipes her face, nods. Yes. Then let's go. He offers his arm. She takes it. They walk toward the entrance, past the guard who questioned her, past the valet stand, past everyone who laughed. Mike Torres steps aside, tips his head. Miss Richardson. Welcome. Voice thick with regret. The doors slide open. Cool air spills out. Marble lobby gleams. Crystal chandelier refracts light into rainbows. On the wall, a portrait gallery. Founding members. 1968. Jasmine stops. James Richardson Sr., her grandfather. Eyes exactly like hers. She touches the frame. I made it, Grandpa. Victoria stands beside her. He would be so proud. They climb the staircase. Red carpet, mahogany rails. The boardroom doors stand open. 11 people wait, all staring. Chen enters first. Jasmine follows. Every person rises. Chen's voice fills the space. I present Jasmine Richardson, sole trustee of the Richardson Family Trust, owner of 35%, voting board member. He guides her to the empty chair. The nameplate, Richardson. She sits. Leather creaks. The chair fits perfectly. The dust has been wiped clean. Thomas Drake looks faint. Helen Cartwright stares. Victoria sits at the head, composes herself. The board will come to order. First motion, suspend Richard Whitmore pending investigation. Second, Harold says, all in favor? 10 hands rise. Only Drake abstains. Motion passed. Victoria's eyes find Jasmine. Second motion, the restructuring proposal, I move to the table indefinitely. Second, Jasmine says quietly. All in favor? 11 hands. Even Drake knows he's beaten. Motion passed. Victoria sets down her gavel. Welcome home, Jasmine. Outside, Richard sits in his car. Patricia won't look at him. His phone buzzes. Texts pouring in. Videos spreading. His face is everywhere. The caption on one video. Millionaire mocks real heiress. 2 million views already. His hands shake on the steering wheel. Everything he built. Everything he had. Gone in one afternoon. The boardroom settles into business. Jasmine sits with her hands folded. Carter beside her taking notes. Victoria adjusts her reading glasses. Miss Richardson, before we adjourn, do you wish to address the board? Jasmine clears her throat, stands slowly. I came here today expecting to be heard. Instead, I was humiliated, handcuffed, treated like a criminal. Not because I did anything wrong, but because of how I looked. Her voice stays steady. No anger, just facts. My grandfather built this place believing character mattered more than color. Today proved how far we've fallen from that vision. She looks around the table, meets every eye. I'm not asking for apologies. I'm asking for change. Real change. Starting now. She sits. The room stays silent for 3 heartbeats. Then Victoria nods. Motion to initiate full financial audit. All transactions involving Richard Whitmore for the past 5 years. Second, Harold rasps. All in favor? Unanimous. Motion passes. I'll contact the auditing firm Monday morning. Jeffrey Ross shifts in his seat. Uncomfortable. Victoria, are we sure that's necessary? Richard made a mistake today, but... A mistake? Harold's cane thumps the floor. He orchestrated her arrest on false charges at our club. Thomas Drake tries a different angle. We should consider Richard's contributions. His development deals brought significant revenue, which we'll examine closely, Carter interrupts. His tone was sharp, including any conflicts of interest. Drake goes pale. The meeting continues another 20 minutes. Procedural votes, committee assignments. Jasmine abstains on most. Learning, observing. Finally, Victoria adjourns. People file out slowly. Several approach Jasmine. Awkward condolences, half apologies. Helen Cartwright stops at the door, turns back. Miss Richardson, I voted to proceed without you today. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Jasmine nods. Accepts it. Doesn't make it easy. Downstairs, the lobby has cleared. Staff whisper in corners. News travels fast in places like this. Outside, 2 news vans have arrived. Channel 7 and Channel 12. Reporters setting up cameras. Chen sees them through the window. We should make a statement. Control the narrative before it controls us. Jasmine hesitates. What do I say? The truth. Like you've been doing all day. They step outside together. Microphones thrust forward. Questions overlap. Miss Richardson, how does it feel? Were you really handcuffed? What do you say to Richard Whitmore? Chen raises a hand. Silence falls. Miss Richardson will make a brief statement. No questions at this time. Jasmine steps to the microphones. Cameras focus. Red recording lights blink. She takes a breath. My name is Jasmine Richardson. I'm 17 years old. Today I came to exercise my legal right to represent my family at a board meeting. I was mocked, accused of fraud, nearly arrested. Not because I was lying, but because nobody believed the truth could look like me. Her voice doesn't waver. This isn't just about me. It's about every person who's been judged by their appearance. Every time someone's truth is dismissed because it doesn't fit expectations. She pauses, lets the words land. I don't want revenge. I want accountability. I want this club to become what my grandfather envisioned, a place where everyone belongs. She steps back. Carter nods to the reporters. That's all for today. Thank you. They walk to Carter's car. Behind them, reporters scramble to file stories. Inside the Mercedes, Jasmine finally lets herself breathe. You did well, Carter says quietly. I feel like I'm going to throw up. That's normal. You just faced down your worst nightmare and won. He pulls out of the drive, past the gates, back toward normal neighborhoods. Jasmine's phone explodes. Texts, calls, social media notifications, her grandmother, her teachers, friends from school, people she hasn't talked to in years. One video has 5 million views already. The caption, "Teen tells truth, gets handcuffed, turns out she owns the place." Comments pour in, thousands per minute. This is what systemic racism looks like. She handled that with so much grace. Richard Whitmore is done. That last one proves prophetic. By evening, Richard's business partners have released statements, distancing themselves, condemning his actions, severing ties. His wife Patricia files separation papers. Her lawyer leaks it to TMZ within hours. The country club receives 47 resignation requests, members who don't want to be associated with what happened. And the police department issues a terse statement. Officers Kelly and Carter were placed on administrative leave. Internal investigation opened. At Jasmine's apartment, Evelyn watches the news, tears streaming down her face. When Jasmine walks in, her grandmother pulls her into a fierce hug. Your grandfather is smiling down right now, baby. Smiling so big. They stand in the small kitchen, holding each other. While outside, the world keeps spinning. Keep talking. Keep sharing the story. By midnight, #Richardson Strong trends nationally. And in a lawyer's office downtown, Carter drafts the first of many lawsuits. Richard Whitmore's reckoning has only just begun. 6 weeks pass. Forensic auditors work in a commandeered office at the club. 3 CPAs, 2 fraud investigators, mountains of documents. What they find is damning. Richard didn't just embezzle, he built an entire system disguised as legitimate business. Construction contracts to his shell companies, overcharges by 30%, kickbacks through his wife's consulting firm, total theft from the club, $847,000. The FBI digs deeper. Richard's real estate company ran the same scheme. Luxury townhomes in Arlington. 47 families bought units, mostly Black and Latino buyers, attracted by promises of affordable luxury. He took deposits, started construction, filed bankruptcy, keep the money, bought the failed project back cheap through another company. Legal. Technically. But predatory. Maria Santos sees Jasmine's story on the news, recognizes Richard. She lost $50,000, 8 years of savings. Gone. She calls the FBI hotline. 12 others follow. Grand jury indictment. Wire fraud, mail fraud, tax evasion, civil rights violations, false imprisonment. Richard's arraignment makes national news. No bail. Flight risk. Detention pending trial. Patricia sits in the gallery. Divorced now. Won't look at him. Trial begins in January. Federal Courthouse, Alexandria. Prosecutors lead with club theft. Documents don't lie. Bank transfers. Forged invoices. Emails where Richard jokes about creative accounting. Then housing victims testify. Maria Santos takes the stand, describes saving every dollar, working double shifts, believing Richard's promises. He said we were building a community, our chance at the American dream. Voice breaking. He took everything. 3 more victims. Same story, same devastation. Defense argues business risk. The jury doesn't buy it. Jasmine testifies. The courtroom goes silent. She wears a navy dress, sits straight. The prosecutor walks her through that Saturday. Every detail. He said I was nobody, nothing, that I needed to leave. How did that make you feel? Like no matter what truth I told, it wouldn't matter. He'd already decided who I was. What did he see? A black girl who couldn't possibly be telling the truth. Defense cross-examines, tries to rattle her. Isn't it true you arrived without proper identification? I had student ID and certified documents. Documents Mr. Whitmore believed were forged. He never examined them. He saw me and decided I was lying. You're asking the jury to read his mind? I'm asking them to read his words, on video, that the world has seen. The attorney gets nowhere. Jasmine stays calm, unshakable. Harold testifies next, describes Richard's decades-long pattern. Membership applications from black families mysteriously denied. Board positions never go to minorities. I confronted him once. He said demographics take care of themselves. I knew what he meant. Prosecution rests after 2 weeks. Defense takes 3 days. Uncomfortable character witnesses, financial experts who can't explain the paper trail. Richard takes the stand, against his lawyer's advice. It goes badly. Defensive, evasive, tries to justify. I made business decisions. Sometimes they don't work out. 47 decisions that all hurt minority families while enriching yourself. I didn't target anyone. Why are 92% of victims people of color? That's just a coincidence. Coincidence. The word hangs. Prosecutors show his emails, messages joking about those people, complaints about diversity initiatives ruining the club. One from 2022, need to keep certain types out. Property values depend on it. Richard claims it's out of context. What context makes that acceptable? No answer. The jury deliberates for 6 hours. Guilty. All counts. Richard's face goes gray. Sentencing 3 weeks later. The courtroom fills early. Victims, media, Jasmine in the front row with Evelyn and Carter. Judge Margaret Torres presides. 30 years on the bench. This case clearly angers her. Victim statements first. Maria Santos speaks about losing her dream, explaining to her children why they can't have what was promised. 2 others speak. Pain is raw. Then Jasmine. Your Honor, Mr. Whitmore didn't just attack me. He attacked every person dismissed because of how they look. She looks at Richard. He won't meet her eyes. He had everything. Used it to hurt people, to steal, to discriminate. Not because he needed to, because he could. Voice steady. I don't want revenge. I want him to understand nobody is above the law. Actions have consequences. You can't treat people as less than human and walk away. She sits. Judge Torres removes glasses. Look at Richard. Mr. Whitmore, you had every advantage. You chose abuse. You stole from the vulnerable. Discriminated systematically. When confronted with the truth, you responded with cruelty. Pause. Guidelines suggest 48 to 60 months. I find that insufficient. You are sentenced to 72 months federal prison, 3 years supervised release. Richard slumps. Additionally, restitution of $847,000 to the club, $3.2 million to fraud victims, $2.5 million punitive damages to Miss Richardson. Gavel falls. Remanded immediately. Marshals step forward, guide Richard out. He glances back once, sees the courtroom full of people he hurt. Then he's gone. Outside on courthouse steps, reporters everywhere. Chen handles questions, but one asks Jasmine directly. Do you feel vindicated? She considers. I feel like the system worked, this time. For me. But how many don't get this? Don't have lawyers or evidence or videos? That's what keeps me up. What will you do now? Keep fighting. For everyone who can't. The camera flashes. Her words spread. Within hours, #JusticeForJasmine trends worldwide. Officer Kelly receives his own consequences, fired from the department, charged with civil rights violations, 18 months in county jail. Sarah Carter suspended 6 months without pay. Mandatory retraining. She writes Jasmine a letter, apologizing, taking responsibility. Jasmine reads it once, files it away, doesn't respond. Some apologies come too late. The police department settles. 1.5 million. Mandatory bias training for all officers. New oversight committee. Citizen review board with real power. Whitmore Country Club pays $750,000. Establishes anti-discrimination oversight. Diversity requirements for board. Scholarship fund in James Richardson's name. Patricia Whitmore, now Patricia Henderson again, volunteers for civil rights organizations, trying to rebuild her reputation, her soul. Both were damaged beyond easy repair. Chad Morrison testifies against Richard, gets immunity, loses his business anyway. Nobody wants to work with him. The club transforms slowly, painfully, but genuinely. New members, different faces, real diversity. Victoria stays as chair, committed to change, to honor James Richardson's original vision. And in a federal prison in West Virginia, Richard Whitmore serves his time. Isolated, forgotten. Exactly what he deserves. 1 year later, Jasmine walks through Harvard Yard. Autumn leaves crunch underfoot. Red brick buildings glow in the afternoon sun. She's 18 now, freshman at Harvard Law. Top 5% already. Thriving. But she hasn't forgotten. The Richardson Foundation launches on her birthday. $5 million from the settlement. The mission: free legal defense for discrimination victims. Scholarships for students from modest backgrounds. 150 scholarships awarded. 47 legal cases won. Lives changed. The country club transformed completely. Membership is 40% people of color. 3 black board members. Real representation. James Richardson. Memorial Hall opened in June. Photos covering walls. His vision is alive again. Victoria remained president. Reformed everything. Made the club what it should have been. Harold Whitfield passed peacefully in August. Left $500,000 to the foundation. His note: Jasmine, I'm sorry I didn't speak louder. Speak for me now. She does. Every day. Richard Whitmore sits in federal prison, 18 months into his sentence. No visitors. Patricia moved away. His children changed their names. Nobody wants association. He works in the prison library. Reshelves books. Mops floors. Everything beneath him before. Early release is unlikely. Behavioral issues. Refuses training. Claims innocence still. Some people never learn. The impact spreads wider. 3 states passed Richardson Acts, strengthening anti-discrimination laws, penalties for false race-based accusations, required bias training. 1,200 companies requested training, want to prevent their own disasters. Jasmine's TED Talk hit 47 million views. 32 languages, used in classrooms worldwide. Time named her Influential Teen of the Year. She highlighted others. Maria Santos, housing victims, all the fighters. December evening, Jasmine video calls her grandmother. How are you doing, baby girl? Tired. Constitutional law exam tomorrow. You'll ace it. Evelyn's face fills the screen. 81. Still sharp, still proud. Grandma, you think Grandpa would be happy? Evelyn's eyes glisten. Baby, he is happy. I feel him, especially watching you speak. You're doing exactly what he dreamed. I miss them. They're with you, in everything you do. After hanging up, Jasmine checks the foundation email. 300 messages, people asking for help, sharing stories, thanking her. One stands out. You gave me hope. A young black man, Falsely accused at work. Boss didn't believe my credentials. Called security. I remembered your story, stayed calm, documented everything, called a lawyer. It worked. I kept my job. Thank you. Jasmine types back. Stay strong, document, fight. You're not alone. She looks at her desk photo. Grandfather, parents, all smiling, all gone, all still present. I'm being the warrior you taught me to be. The story doesn't end. Somewhere tonight, someone will be dismissed because they don't look right. Someone will tell the truth and not be believed. But now they have proof. Fighting back works. Justice is possible. Courage changes everything. If this moved you, share it. Let it reach someone who needs it. Comment below. When weren't you believed? When did you stand up? When did you wish you had? Subscribe for more stories where justice wins, where truth matters, where courage changes worlds. The Richardson Foundation helps real people fighting real discrimination. Every share spreads awareness. Every conversation shifts culture. Next week, the janitor everyone ignored, until they discovered he owned the building. His boss's face was priceless. Join 2.3 million who believe justice matters. Here's the truth. Jasmine said exactly who she was from the beginning. Nobody believed her. Not because she lied, because she didn't look like their idea of truth. Final question. The one that matters most. When someone tells you their truth but doesn't match expectations, when they claim something hard to believe, what will you do? Dismiss them like Richard? Mock them? Call the police? Or pause? Listen. Verify before judging. Truth doesn't have a dress code. Success doesn't have a skin color. Credibility shouldn't depend on fitting a narrow imagination. Jasmine was right from the first word. She just had to survive long enough to prove it. The question isn't why she didn't prove it sooner. The question is, why didn't anyone believe her? Think about that. Then decide who you'll be next time someone's truth makes you uncomfortable. Because silence isn't neutral. Doubt isn't harmless. Assumptions destroy lives. Richard saw a black teenager and decided she was lying. That choice cost him everything. Harold saw the same girl and paused. Asked questions. Saved everyone from a bigger tragedy. Two men, same moment, different choices, completely different outcomes. You'll face your moment someday. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today. Someone will tell you something that challenges your assumptions. That doesn't fit your worldview. That seems impossible based on how they look. And you'll have to choose. Will you be Richard, or will you be Harold? Because here's what Jasmine learned that day. The truth was always true, whether anyone believed it or not. Her grandfather owned that club. Her family built it.